Hello everyone, welcome to the Cedar Falls Historical Society's first ever Facebook Live. We'll go ahead and give it a couple of minutes here to see if anyone joins us from over on the Cedar Falls Downtown District's Facebook page. If you haven't already checked out their page, when we're done here tonight, be sure you do that. There will be several downtown businesses all going live throughout the evening this evening, as well as the next 2 Mondays here in December. So again, go check out the Cedar Falls Downtown District Facebook page after we're done here. I am Carrie Eilderts. For those of you who don't know, I am the Executive Director here at the Cedar Falls Historical Society. Tonight I'm going to be showing you around our Victorian House Museum. We are located at 308 West 3rd Street here in downtown Cedar Falls, so right across from Overman Park, or kitty corner from City Hall, just a couple of blocks off of our beautiful historic downtown Main Street. So we are going to be looking at several things tonight. We're going to be looking at our 19th Amendment exhibit and also taking a look at our Victorian home decorated for Christmas, and then taking a look at a few of our gift shop items here, help you get some ideas for your Christmas shopping. So we are going to go then in here and take a look at the 19th Amendment exhibit, The Fight for the Right, Women and the Vote. This exhibit went up in February to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment this year, which gave women the right to vote. This exhibit was curated by our curator, Julie Hoffman-Klinkowitz, and so she did a lot of research and did a good job of really condensing down a very big topic into 5 very small cases here. So as you can see, the first Women's Rights Convention in the U.S. was held already in 1848, and the 19th Amendment then wouldn't be passed until 1920. So there's a lot of complicated history to cover. Moving on this way, we have some items here illustrating the Civil War history. So the Civil War really affected women's roles in the U.S. and played a big role in their march towards earning the right to vote. Following the Civil War then, the fight was renewed, especially after the 14th Amendment was passed in 1868, but women would have a long time yet before their right to vote would come. You can see here there's a lot of different postcards and things that were illustrating, many which were against giving women the right to vote. If you're interested in learning more about those kinds of postcards against women's suffrage, we do have a program on our Facebook page which really discusses a lot of those postcards. So after this, if you don't already like and follow our Facebook page, you might want to do that and check out some of those programs we have recorded this year. We've had to move a lot of our programs virtually this year, and our education coordinator, Diane Schutbach, has put a lot of work into figuring out how to make that happen. So be sure to like and follow us to check out those programs, and also to be among the first to know of any new programs that we post. Over here, we have fashion and freedom. So changes in women's rights were also reflected in changes in their clothing. I don't know about you, but I'm not sure that I would ever want to be wearing things like this cage crinoline or corset and hoop skirt every day. If there's anyone out there who would actually want to wear those, let us know in the comments, or if you don't want to wear them. Then we have, of course, Amelia Bloomer with her famous bloomer costume. So then, over here we have our resolution and ratification case. So finally moving then towards the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920. All the variety of political buttons and things that go along with that. Obviously, there's a lot more to read in this exhibit than we can cover tonight, but this exhibit is up through December 18th yet. If you're interested in coming and viewing this exhibit, so we have one more weekend, and of course then 2 more weeks. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4. So still have a little bit of a chance yet to come down and check out this exhibit. This gallery does get changed every year, so next year's exhibit is going to be on quilts. So be looking for more information on that coming in January. The Historical Society then will reopen on February 1st for you to come and view that quilting exhibit. Okay, so then we're going to move on into our Victorian home here. So we're entering through the kitchen. So the part that we were standing in just now was our addition here, so that was built in the 1990s. So now we're moving into the actual Victorian house, which was built in 1862. So here's the kitchen. And the dining room. You notice the dining room is a lot fancier than the kitchen was, as the kitchen was mainly a space for the children and the maids, whereas the dining room is for the family. So we'll have lots of touches of Christmas throughout this room, including the Christmas crackers there. So, Christmas crackers were actually invented during the Victorian era. They are rolled pieces of paper tied at each end, and when they are tugged apart by 1 or 2 people, they make a popping noise and open to reveal a surprise, including treats such as cookies, puzzles, or small toys. So we have each place there set with a Christmas cracker. This Victorian home is decorated in a fashion that would have been very similar to what the family who lived here in the 1860s during the Victorian era might have decorated it as. So a lot of things are familiar that you'll recognize that we still use, but they're a little more toned down than some of the decorations we see today. As we pass out of the dining room, we'll pass under the kissing bough up there. So, as many of you I'm sure are familiar, mistletoe and kissing boughs. There were many parties during the Christmas season, as there typically are for us as well, maybe not this year, but in a typical year. And during this time, mistletoe and kissing boughs were hung in many homes, and young men and women were supposed to kiss each other while standing underneath one. Mistletoe grows in mild climates, so it would have to be purchased, and those who couldn't afford mistletoe could make kissing boughs out of evergreens and apples. So we'll go ahead and then move on through here into what is the back parlor, or the family's parlor here. And then looking through that way to the front parlor, so those curtains could be drawn to separate the two from the front, more formal parlor, and the family's parlor here in the back. We have several Christmas cards on display throughout the Victorian home. Christmas cards were invented in 1843 when Henry Cole hired an artist to design a card for him because he had been too busy to write letters to his friends at Christmas, and thus the idea of Christmas cards were born. Merchants in the late 1800s gave away lavishly colored and embossed trade cards depicting Santa for gluing into the family scrapbook. The most elaborate Christmas greetings of the Victorian era were fold-out cards. When they were opened, a 3-dimensional picture popped out of the interior. I should also mention that the Victorian home is decorated by our Victorian House Council, which is a wonderful group of volunteers, so shout out to any of them if they might be watching. The Victorian House Council also helps with hosting our museums on the weekends, and they also help us plan our programming, especially for our Cabinets of Curiosity series, which we'll talk about a little more here in a second. But they always come and decorate the house for us in mid-October, since we do close in mid-December, so we like to have the house decorated for as long as possible, so we decorate quite early around here. Here we talk a little bit about wreaths, garland, and greenery. So during the Victorian era, homes were decorated weeks before Christmas Day. On the front porch, a wreath made of pine boughs, pine cones, berries, and dried fruit was hung on the front door to welcome guests. The feeling of the outdoors was brought inside the home with boughs of fir, spruce, and other evergreens, hung on walls and doors. Garlands of holly, ivy, pine cones, and flowers were draped over fireplace mantels and staircase railings. So here we have our greenery on the mantle. And here on the piano we have a little nutcracker. Nutcracker dolls, or Christmas nutcrackers, are decorative figurines, most commonly made to resemble a toy soldier. And in a German tradition, the dolls are symbols of good luck, frightening away spirits and serving as protectors of the house. Another tradition that is found from German roots is the Christmas tree. So we do have about 4 different trees that we rotate through each year, so no 2 years in a row are going to be the same tree, so you can always come and see a different one. This year is a very kids-themed tree with little toys and candies and things decorating it. So we have the very traditional Victorian decorations of popcorn garlands and strands of cranberries and little peppermint candies. We also hide a pickle ornament on our tree, so let me know if any of you hide a pickle on your tree. That is another tradition that is said to be German. When Woolworths in the 1880s started selling imported glass ornaments from Germany, one of them was a pickle, and so they said that that was a German tradition to hide the pickle on the tree, and the first child to find the pickle on the tree on Christmas morning would get an extra present. So it was always a rush to hunt for the pickle. So as we move around the tree here, let me know if you find the pickle, if you see it. Christmas trees were also popularized by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert. So it's largely thanks to them that Christmas trees are a tradition throughout the world. Yeah, it might be a little hard to see, but our pickle is hiding right in there. Another very Victorian decoration on this tree is the candles. So you might have noticed as I was moving around here, there are real candles on little metal holders all over this tree. And that was started during the Victorian era. The flickering candles represented the stars above the manger in Bethlehem, and obviously could be very dangerous, so people would often have to keep a bucket of water by their tree ready to put out any little flames that would go astray. All right, we'll take a little glance into our entryway here. We've got another wreath and some more Christmas cards. It's worth mentioning that in a typical year, you would also be able to go see the upstairs decorated. We do have that temporarily closed off because sanitizer, even just a little bit of hand sanitizer on people's hands, could be very damaging to our banister. So temporarily the upstairs is closed, but most years the upstairs is also open and decorated as well. Over here we have a display of buttons. So you might have heard me mention earlier our Cabinets of Curiosity series that our Volunteer Victorian House Council helps us plan. That is something that we try to do seasonally. We bring in a different collection of items so that there's always something new to see in the Victorian house. Obviously, a Victorian house, you can't really go around changing the furniture a whole lot on a typical basis, but we try to bring in some sort of different little collection each season. So this season, we have our button collection here. It was donated by Janine Johnson, who was a member of the Cedar Falls Button Club, and has little descriptions of each of the different examples of types of buttons. That's another one of the programs that has been recently published on our Facebook page, is on the history of buttons, and then also instructions for making a little button craft, which Diane Dixon and Dan Higgins, also of the Black Button Club, put together for us. Instructions for making button ornaments. So little button trees like that one there. And we do have all these little kits here that have the exact supplies you need to make your own button tree, along with the written instructions. So you can either follow the written instructions or you can watch the video that we have on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. And so you can follow along with that. These kits are just $5 each, and they were all donated by Diane and Jan, so we're very grateful for that. Variety of Cedar Falls Historical Society souvenirs, magnets, and here's our Ice House mugs. So for those of you who don't know, the Cedar Falls Historical Society has 3 different museums. So we have the Victorian House, which is where we are right now, and then along First Street we have the Ice House Museum and the Little Red Schoolhouse Museum. So those are both summer museums, those two, because they're not heated. So I definitely would not want to be in them right now giving a Facebook Live because I'd be freezing. But those we planned on having open up again the first weekend of May. We also have these packs of note cards here with birds and barns, and also some larger prints of those same designs. The barns are all barns that were at one time located here in the Cedar Falls area. These were done by local artist Steve Carter. He was asked by Janine Johnson to make these prints. And half of the proceeds from these prints and note cards goes to a fund that Janine Johnson's family has set up in her name to take care of the city's cemeteries. So she became quite concerned with the state of some of the stones in our cemeteries, and so her family, in her memory, is setting up a fund to help care for those stones. So half of the proceeds from these prints go to that fund, and the other half support us here at the Cedar Falls Historical Society. We also have a couple of Historical Society prints here. These are by local photographer Stephen Hunter. So we have one of the Victorian House, which is where we are right now. And there's one of our Barron's Wrap stations. So that station currently serves as a visitor center and sits right between the Ice House and Schoolhouse along First Street. We also have some little pennants here. Some say Cedar Falls, and some say Votes for Women. And we also have a couple larger versions of the Votes for Women ones. So if you're looking for a great way to commemorate that big event this year, that anniversary, those pennants would make a great way to do that. We also have our Historical Society t-shirts, And some other little items, handkerchiefs, railroad-related items, and some small old-fashioned toys. And of course, we have a large selection of Cedar Falls history books. So if you have people in your family who are lifelong fans of Cedar Falls or history, these are some great options for them. Since we do have a little bit of time left here, I think we are going to go ahead and head down and take a little glance at our Lenoir train layout. So in the lower level of our Victorian House Museum here, we have our Lenoir train layout. Lenoir was a very famous model train builder. And so we have on display downstairs here. So we'll go ahead and head on downstairs. Does anyone have any questions about anything you've seen tonight? Go on down here. So as you can see, it's a very elaborate layout. You could spend a very long time looking at this and still always find new things to see. This layout is actually going to be moving to our new museum at some point. We have plans to build a new museum at 315 Clay Street, so just 2 doors down here from the Victorian House. And this train layout will be moved there, and you'll be able to see much farther around it. So right now you can really only see 2 sides, and you'll be able to see almost all the way around it when it gets moved over there. The train layout does run. We try to limit how much we run it because of the wear and tear on it, but quite often during Sturgis Falls, we'll run the train. So if Sturgis Falls is able to happen next year, you'll have to come check us out during that time and see the train in action. Like I said, we are open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 4, and Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 through December 18th. So you do still have time yet to come check out all these things this year. We have put a lot in place to try to make visiting as safe as possible. Masks are required. Only 10 people are allowed in the building at one time. And there's plenty of sanitizer available. We've also closed off a lot of our hands-on things for now. So in a typical year, we have a kids' corner and a lot more hands-on activities, which are all temporarily closed for safety. Favorite CF book recommendations, Robin? Let's go back upstairs here and we'll take a look at those books one more time here. So I really enjoy these 3. I think these 3 make a really great set, although they can be purchased separately as well. They're Images of Modern America. So this is a series that has books from a wide variety of places, but we have one for Cedar Falls, and then this one is a little bit more modern images of Cedar Falls, and this one is University of Northern Iowa. They offer a lot of great historic images as well as history behind those images. So those are my favorites. Obviously, we have a lot of different topics here, so a little something for everyone. An admission here at the Victorian House is free. Donations are appreciated. We are a private nonprofit, so we very much rely on the generation of donations to help us share the work of this place and offer great exhibits and every year. Right. Well, if no one else has any questions, show the pins. Do you mean the buttons? We can, yeah. Is that what you were looking for, Kelly? Well, I think it is about time here to sign off. Like I said at the beginning, go check out the Cedar Falls Downtown District Facebook page. There's lots of downtown businesses all going live at different times throughout the evening this evening. So be sure to head on over and check it out. Thank you.